Well, hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining my husband Greg and I for Style for Days. We're here to connect and chat with you about style that we have evolved through and to, and excited to just kind of give you a little bit of our story. It was fun. Thank you to the producer.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think I learned a lot about myself going back down memory lane on how this journey and evolution of not only my body but my fashion just grew and progressed along the way. So hope you enjoy what we've put together and what we end up sharing.
Well, let's get to it. Style for Days. What is it that I want to feel or deserve in that space, in that moment, and I dress for that. And I think that if anything, that would be my biggest advice to anyone, is to dress for how you want to feel versus how you feel. I have always had an immense love for fashion. For as long as I can remember, I've always really appreciated shoes, handbags, and the things that accessorized basic ensembles. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that I was raised by my great-grandmother, who always had a love for accessories too. Something that she's always instilled in me from as long as I could remember is that, you know, just be proud of whatever it is that you do. Whether it is, you know, how you appear, what you look like, you know, and one of her things, and I say it to my kids now, well, you know, as long as you're proud of the way that you look, or as long as you're proud of what your final result is, then I'm proud. Because, I mean, if that's all you have to give, then that's all you have to give. And when it came to clothes growing up, that's one of the things that I remember the most, is that no matter what I chose to wear, my granny always used to ask me, well, are you proud? And that meant let me reevaluate my situation. But I was always one who kind of did her own thing. I was not the kid that got peer pressured and did it because everybody else, you know, did it. And that just was not my thing. So when it came to clothes, I remember the moment in which my life kind of was like, you know, jolted a bit. My granny told me, you weren't sent here to be like everyone else. You are not like everyone else. So why are you doing the things that everyone else, they're trying to do? And so when she said that to me, it was really eye-opening, and my fashion and love for it, I think just, that's when it really took off.
Ooh, okay, so the beginning for me, I don't even know if there really was a beginning. It kind of just happened. But it was dress to impress because we're headed to church. Mom and Dad were in ministry. And so myself, along with my siblings, all we knew was dress clothes and play clothes. And there was a drastic difference between how our appearance was when it was time to go to church and dress up versus, okay, go outside and play with your cousins. It was night and day. As you can imagine, my confidence wasn't as high as it probably could have been or should have been because of that. You know, you have kids who you're trying to impress, but outside of even them, myself, just feeling comfortable and confident going to school every day, knowing that I have to wear the same things over and over again. Up until the 8th grade prom happened. And I don't know what it was, but my parents purchased me this suit, silk suit, blazer, pants, the shoes, tie, shirt, the whole nine. And for me, that's where my confidence shot through the roof. Everything changed in that moment.
We wanted to stop and have a moment of discussion about that. That was actually my first time seeing it, so I thought that was really cute. And it was absolutely right. And I think that one of the things that at Queen Anna, what we try to do is empower women to just own that space of not being like everyone else. And I think that the things that are instilled when we're young kind of transfer over throughout the years. And we don't really know it until we're here and understand what happened then.
Yeah, it was interesting because listening to you and having my own experience, even though my parents instilled that believe in yourself and be yourself as we were young, I still found myself always comparing what I had or what I didn't have to everyone else. And it was a struggle. It was kind of a struggle often because I never felt like I measured up when it came to fashion or apparel. And there was a moment where it really started to click, but it wasn't until a little bit later.
I thought it was super cool how I think you mentioned like your church clothes and your play clothes.
That's what it was.
You had capsules before you even knew you had a capsule. So that's super cool. I think for me, again, I just got dressed, and I was raised at kind of like an only child, but even though I wasn't an only child, and so there were four of you, like your siblings, and I really kind of had everything done for me. So like I didn't have to worry about, clothes, capsule wardrobe, play clothes or not. Like if I wore the church dress outside, it was okay. If I didn't, it was okay, because like my granny kind of like, put this on, take this off. Put this on, take this off, where you guys kind of managed yourselves and your parents kind of directed you in the way you needed to go. So my setup was a little bit different. So that's really cool how they kind of blended together.
Yeah, and
different ways of life.
I think what's interesting is reflecting on that as a parent now, identifying how I parent my children when it comes to their fashion and allowing them to have more input. I don't feel like I had that input, and I don't think there was reason for me to have that amount of input because we just didn't have the means for us to have the wants, if you will. We had the necessities, which was just enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that was a great little summation of that. And I feel like for us as parents and as humans, as adults, like to sit back and have that moment of reflection of now and then is always good. So, but there's more. Let us continue on with the journey of Style for Days. So after my granny made that big proclamation about me being just different and unique, I never, ever, ever, ever like had a strive or a want or desire to look, be, or even act like anyone else. And I think that was when I felt the most confident in myself, in my body, in everything, because obviously at this point in time, as a young lady, I'm filling out. And one thing that runs in my family is the booty, hip, and thigh area. And as a young lady growing up, that was something that was somewhat challenging, not really, but kind of, because it was a very big, it was like a detector for little boys. And it was difficult for me to know how to dress my body type. And so it didn't cause for any type of unwanted or unwarranted attention in that area. And so I think for me that was one of the challenges of that age. But the really key thing, I think, as I was becoming my own self in that space, is just understanding what it's like to be a young woman with, as you grow up and you grow from adolescence and you fill out. And what it was for me was not necessarily having my granny talk to me about those different areas. And so I had to kind of figure it out on my own.
Okay, so now confidence is at an all-time high. I was an athlete. I didn't have to dress to impress every single day. So I was in a lot of comfortable gear.
Wearing sweats was a staple. I would put creases in my sweatpants, creases in the hoodie. I mean, you really couldn't tell me anything because my confidence had shot so high, not only because of me excelling in sport, but because what I had figured out a way to make it work. Then there was the blue jean jumpsuits and the Timberland boots. All of these things or items, pieces of apparel, gave me more and more confidence as I added to my closet, my wardrobe. My confidence continued to escalate. Then you'd have the special events like the senior prom or homecoming, different events that would force you to dress for the occasion. And so those were also opportunities for me to showcase my wardrobe.
And I was set. I had the girl that I wanted. I was getting ready to go to the school that I desired, to play a sport that I loved. My confidence, the number one factor.
That was interesting. Again, again, like that was interesting. That was my first time seeing that part too. Good job again, babe. And we did go to the 8th grade prom and the senior prom together. That's the really cool thing. So we should have dug up a photo of us together on the, because that wasn't me in that. The dress was cute though.
So, at any rate, for me in this, the beginning and kind of the becoming, this was where I felt like I was starting to have some awareness of what I looked like. And I had more input. And it wasn't that my clothes, as I mentioned, like my clothes didn't change that much. It was my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It was all internal. And this is where I began to believe in myself so that what I did put on just felt right. Regardless if it was, as I mentioned, sweats or a full-on suit that we were going to go out and have whatever. And so that this moment in my life was when I really started to identify it's not always about externally how I look or what people will see. It's about what I want to feel.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. But I think also too, when you don't really think about, well, you think about the other person, but you know that you're comfortable in the skin you're in with the clothes that you wear, that's when the clothes that you wear shine, even if it's not what everyone else is wearing. And so looking at, for instance, the silhouette and the cut of the picture where we were together in the group, and I think that was maybe the homecoming court or something like that. I saw myself in my sweater was chunky, and it was like, I think I had a denim on denim, like a skirt and a jacket. And even now, when you think about it, denim on denim is something that's super fashionable, but that just was just who I was then. And it's definitely something about the concept of I would wear denim on denim now. So, making it, those are the kinds of things when I think about capsules and wardrobing and being okay, those are the things that might have to ebb and flow with like evolution of body sizes, because obviously I couldn't put that same size skirt and jacket on now, but the concept of my style being who I was as a person, as an individual, and things that I appreciated, even look good in, it was the same then as it is now. And then just having that evolution of size, you know, that's probably been the biggest one. And I think too, you found a really good picture of, I'm not sure what, I mean, but I can remember it just like it was yesterday. With the dress that I was, the picture of me in the dress, it was a red crushed velvet, I want to say, dress, and the dress was fire then, and it is hot now. Like, I would wear the dress, well, in my size now. So I'm excited to see what other images you pulled up from the blast from the past. It's really fun. And we continue on. There are several things, though, that really stand out to me in my life that really have dictated my fashion sense, my fashion style, what it is that I was going for. It wasn't really me, but the one thing that changed the game for me is having kids. You know, they are the most amazing humans that I've ever been blessed with, but they changed my life in a number of ways. I had 4 cesareans, so 4 C-sections, and I gained 100 pounds with one of my daughters, and it took a full year to get it off, but I was so determined. I think for me in that phase of life, learning how to dress a pregnant body, then a not pregnant body, and then a pregnant body, and then you're not pregnant anymore. I don't know, like, how do you do that? You just do it. But what was very pivotal was the fact that after I had my son, who was our last, and I've been raised as a very, very confident person, to know who I am, to understand myself, and to stand up for what I believe. The values that have been instilled in me are things to this day that I instill in my children, whether it's through fashion or whether it is just in, like, we don't behave that way, whatever it is. But there was a point in time right after I had Ace, our son, where I was not that person anymore. It was like I was Mrs. Jennings. I lost my first name. I was Mommy. I lost my first name. I had a bachelor's in nursing, but I wasn't working. So I felt really lost as a person. So I had clothes ranging from size probably 4 to 2X plus size. Because I refused to buy maternity clothes just out of being the stubborn person that I am. And I had so much going on inside of me after having this baby. We were in the hospital for 2 weeks. It was just a lot. And then I had this amazing, like, fine stature of a man who is like winning football games on TV, got commercials. We're going here, got to get dressed up, and I'm not feeling myself. So I had to stop and evaluate my closet, my mind, my body, everything. And it went through a mental check, a physical check, and every other check that I could make. And I decided at that point in time to make some changes.
Okay, so now I'm in the National Football League. My revenue is a little different, obviously, so my wardrobe can now be what I've always desired. And this was important because I have this beautiful lady on my arm now, and we're hosting events. We're being asked to come to different events, and we wanted to look good. I say we because a lot of my motivation in this moment of my life was because of Nicole. I'm trying to make sure I'm not going to let her down because I know she's going to look good. So I have to come somewhere close in the ballpark, in the range, to where I can be just as equal, if not a little slight in front of her. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but in my own head, I had to create that imagination and that feeling because it was important. I knew my wardrobe was no longer the excuse. It was either I knew how to put things together or I didn't. But even in that moment, what I truly realized was having the clothes was never the problem, was never the issue. It was always me. Just simply being confident and comfortable with being me.
Okay. Another job, well done job. I think that was one of that part is the part as an adult woman. That part really sums up where, you know, body changes and so much in your closet and you don't have enough in your closet, but you have enough, you just don't know how to wear it because your body is changing, your mind's changing, you got different places to go. So I feel like for me, that's the thing that still resonates a little bit now. I'm done having babies, but I mean, my body sometimes feels like it's not. And so it's like having to figure out how to dress for that moment, but then still feel good. And I think that having those core pieces that are able to mix and match whatever body type you might be in that moment, that phase of life, or where you might be going. I think the things that make you feel good are the pieces that kind of should live in your wardrobe.
I think what's interesting to me about all of this is specifically in this becoming one phase, I never had any issues when it came to physically my body evolving. That wasn't the issue. My biggest hurdle was feeling like I needed to live up to the standard that I saw next to me. But putting all this together and watching and listening to even you talk, you were doing the same thing with me.
Exactly.
And it was interesting because watching you have the kids and evolve with your body, I remember you being so adamant about not getting pregnant clothes. Like, I'm not wearing maternity clothes, babe. I'm not wearing maternity clothes. And what stands out to me, even in that moment, was you never was willing to allow your mind to go someplace that you didn't want it to go in order to feel what you wanted to feel.
Right.
And I think, again, as I mentioned at the end of mine, like that is always the most important piece. The fact that I'm not putting maternity clothes on because that would make me feel like pregnant, like I'm not where I need to be. And you weren't willing to accept that and walk through that door. You kept that door slammed shut and said, you know what, I'm going to make what I have work. And if I can't figure it out with this, I'm going to go up a size, but it will not be maternity clothes.
Absolutely. And I think that you're like 1,000,000% right. It's about how it would have made me feel. Like, even still though, like that's what we do, you know, subconsciously. People get dressed in the morning and it's like, okay, like, let me check myself. Well, what do I feel like getting dressed in the morning? I don't feel like it. Let me just throw this on quickly. Really, what we should remember is how we want to feel and get dressed for that moment versus how we feel in that moment. Because, I mean, in that moment, I was pregnant and I felt pregnant. I just, like you said, my mind state was like, I'm only going to be this for 9 months. And I never even made it 9 months with any of them in the first place. So I'm like, nope. And, you know, you never know if it's your last one. What are you going to do with your pregnant clothes? But I knew that after having babies and I got big, like I was, babe, now be honest. This is the time. This is okay to be in. But I was.
You were bigger than what you normally were.
I was bigger than you. I was like, I used to have you lay on me. Remember when I was pregnant with Ava? Because it just was wrong. Like, it didn't feel right when I was so big and like trying to snuggle up in this big muscular arm, and then I'm like pregnant. It just didn't feel right. But the point of it is that I really was not letting my mind go to that place of how I felt in my body. I'm like, if I'm gonna hold on to something, am holding on to the fact that when I get done having kids, I know I'm going to have to lose weight. So I'm thinking through my wardrobe in that space. I'm not going to want to wear maternity pants when I really hopefully don't have a maternity belly in 2 months. But, you know, some pants that would come down with me still look good if I needed to wear them out, but they weren't maternity. I would be okay with a larger size, and they would be they would be needed in that moment. That was my thought process. And again, as a man, though, you've never.
Right. Like I said, I've never had my body, thankfully, fluctuate like that. And I've only ever fluctuated maybe 5-10 pounds, and that's over the course of high school to now. Well, I shouldn't say now. It's a little different now.
I was going to say
different now, but we'll get to that part. And so when it came to my wardrobe and the evolution of that, there wasn't a whole lot changing. Obviously, what I would select and what I would now have a palette for, as far as my eye, what interests me, was different, and it was going to fit different because I was buying the normal sizes, where if you look back or you reflect back on what you just saw, I was wearing baggy clothes that could fit a guy, 2 of me in it. And so those are the things that changed for me. But let's keep going.
And the saga continues. I'm excited again. It's one of those things you never know. My muse, my granny, my mom, my dad, my everything, she passed away, and spawned Queen Anna House of Fashion. She was the inspiration behind that one, and she continues to inspire me long even after she's been gone, to pour into my family the values of just being proud of what it is that you see and what it is that you do, and presenting yourself the way that you want to be seen. It's something that I can't say how far it's taken me, but it's something that is important to me in my life's journey as I continue on through Queen Anna, inspiring women to figure out what it is that they want and go after that. When it comes to my wardrobe in that space, in that moment, I was able to, you know what? Yep, I am a wife. Yep, I am a mom, but I'm Nicole most of all. And Nicole likes leggings occasionally. Not only does she like leggings, she likes really fitted, like not short, but not long, black dresses. I am a curvy woman. My capsule, so to speak, has changed with every season of life. And I think that that's the thing that matters the most, is if you're able to take evaluation of the season in life that you're in, the place that you're in, and then equip yourself for that. It's one of those things that'll take you further than worrying about what should I wear today. I did get caught up in that too, but I've recognized that just doesn't work for me. So what I need to do is evaluate what's going on in life. How do I want to present myself each and every morning? Am I okay with a hat and a sweatshirt and some leggings? Sometimes, but what is it that I want to feel or deserve in that space, in that moment? And I dress for that. And I think that if anything, that would be my biggest advice to anyone, is to dress for how you want to feel versus how you feel. Because if I dress like how I felt every day, it definitely would be leggings. But then before you know it, the individual that you were created to be, gets lost because you look like everyone else who's wearing leggings too. So I think that at the end of the day, you just have to figure out a way to muster up that strength and that courage to just show up the way you want to be seen.
So we're here now, and my wardrobe has completely evolved. To be honest, Nicole is no longer the driving force of that. It's my kids. I'm a dad, and I've embraced daddyism, And so in my head, there's a look that a dad now has to carry. It's not the baggy pants. It's not all the sweatpants and loose, comfy look. Don't get me wrong. Did I want to be comfortable? Was I going to be comfortable? Absolutely. But now my comfort had to look a certain way. It had to be more put together because I'm going to school. I'm going to conferences. I'm dropping my kids off. I'm a dad.
And it requires a ton of active participation. One of the reasons why I train so consistently is because I understand the importance of being healthy, staying in shape. Now, does it change the way my clothes fit? 100%. Because now some clothes that used to fit don't fit. But these are things that you evolve into as you continue to walk this journey of life, and you're willing to do so that you can provide experiences that are being requested and asked. For instance, being a chaperone for your third grader, or being thrown into a TikTok with your kids, or being a dad that is asked to take a teenager to a volleyball game because they want you there.
And that felt good.
Well, you are a super cool dad, by the way, too. I always say that to him. But yes, I think that's our life now. The 4 humans that we're raising who are amazing and work and travel, and you're getting big by choice. Like that's cool that you can do that and have that, love of training, and like that struggle has to be real. Tell us more about it, because I don't know that life.
Well, now, as you can see, like even in the interview when I'm shooting that, the shirt that I was wearing, it's like about to burst open. A lot of my clothes are doing that, and I think what has become frustrating, and this is where I kind of feel like I'm starting to share some of those experiences, is I have this plethora of options in my closet, and there was a moment when I got them and I tried them on and they were just right. And then something would happen, my weight would fluctuate just slightly or whatever, and it didn't fit the way that I wanted it to fit. And now that I've gained, almost 15 pounds, now it's like those clothes that I was waiting to fit a certain way, now it's almost like I've waited too long. Yeah, and so those are the changes that I'm choosing to make, but my clothes are paying the price for it. Well, I shouldn't say my clothes are paying the price. I'm paying a price for it with not being able to experience some of the clothes that I wear. But there was something in there that you talked about when it came to your now, and just feeling and wearing what you want in that given moment. Talking about you wearing leggings, but dressing them a certain way. You have on leggings now with a white t-shirt and a blazer. Mm-hmm. Like, what goes behind you putting things together the way that you put them together?
Well, again, it totally depends on my mental space, where I'm at. It's like literally having to take that mental check, but then also where I'm going, how I'm feeling, and what I'm going to do when I get to the place I'm going. And I figured, since I was going to be on camera, that I could kind of wing it. But the thing about these leggings that I think that are so unique, and I think that goes back to the fact of just not being almost like, everyone else, is taking it to a level of having a shine on them that they almost look like leather. And just those little tweaks of having things like this in my closet where I can take it and wear, and I would wear this to school with some Converse. I would wear this to work with some Converse, and I could, do different type of jewelry. There are little ways of accentuating different things or elevating different things. I could wear a sandal with this if I wanted to dress it up, and I would still feel really good about myself. And I think that that's the thing that's important, is that you really just have to feel good about yourself.
Absolutely. I want to keep going because
There's more.
there's more.
So here we are in my closet, and I'm going to show you some of the key pieces that work for me in my capsule, and that can ebb and flow with your body, your place of work, or wherever it is that life may take you. So I'm going to start with a lovely, lovely blazer. The thing that's important about this blazer is that it stretches. Comfort is key. And so the other thing that I think is important is when you're building your capsule, kind of building them in a way in which everything can work together. That is the key to building a capsule wardrobe. And this sweater that's cashmere obviously goes really well with the black blazer, as well as a really fun blouse. And the blouse is one that can dress up something, but then can be dressed down depending on the bottom. It's one that has got a little bit of more flair to it, because you also want to build a capsule wardrobe that's not just all black and white. Not that that's a bad thing, but you got to have a little pop of color for a spice, little spice of life. Having a really nice skirt, regardless of the color, but just having it be something that's a staple piece that can go back really well with the remainder of the tops that you have in your capsule. And then every capsule is not a capsule unless you have the little black dress. This one's a little fun because it has a really interesting bottom, and then also a little detail here at the neck, and is able to obviously go well with the remainder of the pieces that you've seen thus far. Outside of that, having a dress that might not be black but has a really similar silhouette, that's how you start to build on your signature style. That's a different discussion for a different day, but when you know the cuts and the silhouettes that work well for you, that's how you build ensembles that you know are your go-to and don't have to think twice about buying them at the store or having them in your wardrobe. And I think for me, the basics that we should all have, ladies, obviously we should all have a really good pair of Spanx, but then leggings that might not be a traditional legging look, cut, style. This one has a little sheen, and white t-shirts. These are the two pieces that if I could say I can't live without, these are the two I can't live without. My white t-shirts are always going to be white, and when they're not, they can't stay. And I think that having a white blouse also tops that off, because you can pair this back with denim that is here, the lighter denim, and then even pairing it back with darker denim too. So a light pair of denim, a dark pair of denim, white t-shirts, and then I live by my denim shirt. My denim shirt is actually not 100% denim, it's linen, I have to admit, and it is something that breathes really well. And so it is something that also I wear around my waist when I'm traveling, just for an extra layer, just in case. To wrap all these up, you always want to be able to move and shake when it comes to your shoes. Having a pair of shoes that are white in Converse, you could live in these and they work and travel really, really well. Having that as well with a classic pump that is patent. Patent leather is something that obviously is a little dressier than like a traditional leather, and so having it will automatically elevate and say, oh, she's going somewhere. Having a nude shoe is also imperative, because if you could notice and recognize that this nude pump goes with every single color that we have in this capsule. Having a nude would be imperative to making this ensemble work. Outside of that, having a fun shoe is also something that's really nice, because if you can see, like with this cobalt, you're able to take this shoe in this dress and take it where you need to go. Both are outstanding and really, really fun. Having a sandal, ladies, that is something that can be worn with everything is really important. This sandal is clear and actually can be worn with any of the colors here and any other color because it's clear. One of my favorite shoes, I have to admit. So there we have it, my ensemble, my capsule wardrobe, and the shoes that bring it all together.
Okay, capsule wardrobe. Before I even dive into what I have out here, I just want to explain like why these pieces best fit for me in my capsule wardrobe and what that even means to me. Styling yourself is an emotion. You want to walk into your closet or wherever you house your styles, your looks, and you want to experience an emotion. You get up and go out for the day and you say, I want to feel good, I want to look good, I want to experience this emotion. In clothes, styling yourself helps you project that message to anyone who encounters you. The definition for me of a capsule wardrobe is simple and flexible. These items that you'll see are very simple, they're very flexible, and they can be worn in multiple settings, a variety of settings. Remember, I'm a dad, I'm on television, I just feel like I got swag. We can start with what I have on. This is a part of my capsule wardrobe collection. I'm a king. I love a shirt that gives a saying or has a word that best describes you. That's me. I'm a king. Regardless of what anybody tells me, I know I'm a king. In this home, I will always be king. Okay, let's get right into it. So I have this black shirt. It goes with everything. A black t-shirt is a staple in my collection because I can literally work this with any pant, any shoe, any blazer, almost any bomber jacket. It's a staple. Gotta have it. A white t-shirt. A white t-shirt is a staple in almost anyone's capsule wardrobe. It should be in yours. It's in mine because, again, it has its role in every setting, every environment, with every look. A button-up. White button-up. This one has a little blue collar. I like a little bit of a flare, but a simple classic look that goes with everything. Put this on and dress it and style it the way you desire, which is what I like to do. I absolutely love floral. Okay, so I got 3 girls. I'm a floral dude. I'm a very in touch individual with my sensitive side, my emotions, and I have no problem with that. And floral allows me to give that vibe, project that emotion of I love me, I love my babies, I love the world, I love floral. It just feels right. Okay, blue jean. Blue jean button up. I love this piece. It goes with everything. I can keep going on and on and on, but this is a huge staple for me because, again, it's flexible, it's simple, it's easy, it's trendy, it just fits. A khaki pant. Khaki pant, again, I'm a dad, so I want to be able to go to the school in the meetings but still have it and look the way that I want to look and feel the way that I want to feel and project, again, the emotion that I want to project and for others to encounter. A black pant is a staple. It's just simply a staple. You gotta have a black pant in your capsule wardrobe. It goes with any and everything. It's a must-have for me. I wear them probably more than any other piece. Okay, denim. I call them daytime, nighttime, because typically I wear these in the evening and I wear these in the day. Just depends on what I'm doing. No, in reality, you can wear these with any and everything. I love denim. We don't have to keep talking about the denim. The bomber jacket, leather jacket that goes with anything. And the reason why I love this gray piece, and it's a capsule piece in my wardrobe collection, is because I can put any color t-shirt, almost any color button-up, any color sweater, and it just pops. It just flows. It is well put together regardless of what I decide to do underneath. I love it. I can throw it on with this right now and it just works. See what I mean? And last but not least, a blazer. Again, I like the gray type of feel with when it comes to my blazers, my tops, because anything can go underneath it. It can go with blue jeans, khakis, black pants, white tee, black tee, printed tee, any setting, meetings, television, just ballpark, it doesn't matter. This works. last but not least, some shoe staples that I absolutely love. Okay, I gotta have my all white loafer shoe that just, it's a clean sneaker, clean look. It goes with anything. I can throw it on when I'm trying to decide what should I wear with what. White, all white. This here, probably the most flexible shoe of all time. The Converse low. It's just jeans, black pant, khaki. It doesn't matter. It just works. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It just works. And then my last staple shoe is a denim sneaker. It's distressed. It gives this distressed feel, like I'm rough, I'm rugged, but I got swag. Gotta have it in my capsule wardrobe. Okay, so again, for me, a capsule wardrobe, it's everything you want it to be, but it's easy, it's simple, and it's flexible. And most importantly, when you walk into your closet and you look at everything that you possibly have, what best represents you and what gives you the emotion that you want to feel? These pieces are staple pieces that I can say they give me the emotion that I want to feel. I can wear them almost in any and every environment or setting. That's a capsule wardrobe.
Well, there you have it. I think that that definitely summed up our capsule wardrobe. I know that that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we pinpointed, is that you build your capsule wardrobe not based off of necessarily what you saw, but the things, the pieces that you saw, and understanding that how we kind of brought you through the journey of our life and where we are today. So like those pieces make sense for us. Like, you know, Greg isn't going to a boardroom. I'm not going to a traditional, you know, job. I own a business where my fashion is my business, style is my business. So I'm not going in a two-piece suit with, like, you know, loafers and such, and neither are you. And for someone who is, though, you know, what kind of advice would you give them for their capsule wardrobe? I think specifically as a man, I know, you know, a lot of men wear, and I guess women too, but a traditional like tie and sports jacket and loafer and, you know, suit. You know, how many suits would you have? Or do you need 5 suits? Do you need 4? How many t-shirts?
So when it comes to men, for me, number one, you have to own it. When it comes to styling yourself in capsule wardrobes, you got to own these pieces. You got to believe that these pieces represent me well. When it comes to suits, a blue suit, everyone knows you got to have a good blue suit, a black suit, a gray suit. Those are like the 3 essential colors that you need going out in corporate or anywhere when it comes to a man walking into a restaurant, a meeting, classroom, what have you. Black, blue, and gray. Ties, it varies. I'm a skinny tie individual. I don't like the wide ties. That's not my lane. I stay out of that lane. But if it is your lane, own it. Mm-hmm. Own it. Again, when it comes to fashion, it's all about you. And if you believe that this most represents you, then you wear it. What was so cool about this entire experience, especially when we started talking about our capsule wardrobes, is you never saw my capsule wardrobe. Not one time. This was the first time she actually saw what I selected in my capsule wardrobe. And as she was going through hers, it blew me away how we kind of share the same similarities and the like-mindedness. And it all revolved around being flexible, and simple. Yeah. Pieces that actually can be interchanged with one another, that you could wear. Almost everything that I put up when I looked at what we were just witnessing, what I had on currently, I could have just wore either a pant with it, or I could have put the blazer on top of it or the jacket on top of it. It all just flows. It's seamless. It's easy, but it all said Greg. And as a man, that's where we have to get to, where I get it. We allow our wives to dress us at times. I don't. I love her input.
I was about to say, what?
I love her input. I love going to a store or getting a piece and saying, babe, what do you think about this? Because that is important. But what's more important is if I don't feel it, then I shouldn't put it on. And a lot of us, I shouldn't say us, because I'm not really in that boat. A lot of men get into this back and forth of, honey, pick this for me, put this out. And you never really own what you're wearing. So you're walking the streets or you're going to work and you're a little uncomfortable. You're not really confident as you should be. But if you picked it out, if you said, this is what I want to wear, this is how I want to look, and you walked out that door, your chin would be held high, your confidence will be through the roof, and you would have a phenomenal day because that's how you start your day.
Yeah. It's all about how you feel, I think, at the end of the day. But the key pieces of it is that you have to build it for yourself, your lifestyle. And, you know, even as we were doing our display of Capsule Wardrobe, you know, it was a small collection of what it is that we called our capsule wardrobe, right? And our capsule wardrobe might not be the same size as your capsule. And again, when you really think about the capsule lifestyle, it's, you know, anywhere from, some people are super minimalistic of like 7 pieces, and you take 7 pieces every season and you wear it for however many times you can mix and match it, whether it is like 2 blazers, 4 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, a skirt, and a dress. And then if that's you, then that's what you do, but you do it in your style, you know. And everything that's fashionable isn't necessarily your style. So starting with understanding your style, and then, you know, once you define that and you evolve in that, that's when you continue to build within your capsule the wardrobes that are signature and key to who you are. And I think that, again, and I go way back to the very beginning of this whole Style for Days video that you guys are being a part of, is that it really starts with understanding who you are, what you are in the season of life for others, and ultimately who you were created to be. Because once you stay in that lane, you're able to evolve from understanding your style to defining it, to, you know, building out your capsule and evolving it as you know, continue on life. And I think that that's the important part, is that we don't get stuck in like, this is my style, I only wear the navy blue, black, and gray suit, and don't buy me a brown one because I don't wear those colors. But wait, you don't know that, you've never tried it, you don't know the color doesn't work for you. You know, just don't get stuck in a way of life that is just so routine that you become comfortable and you start not trying new things and evolving your life in various ways. And so I'm excited to continue the conversation on with other opportunities for us to talk about style and fashion, because they're very different, but then also share this opportunity with you and being able to have another point of view on it. And yes, we're husband and wife, and, you know, but our lives on a day-to-day basis, like when the kids are in school and we are at work, and like our path is the same, but our flow is a little bit different. And it's really cool to see how, you know, over the course of life, because it feels like that we've been together since not birth, but a little after, and in transitioning, and our stories are similar, but really still different, but one and the same. And it really showed when I didn't know what you wore, what you pulled for your pieces, and to see how much they interacted and intertwined. And so, yeah, it was a really fun experience. So thank you for being my co-host. You're a really cool dude.
Absolutely. I want to add one last thing. When it comes to your wardrobe and it being a capsule wardrobe, we didn't talk about this, but it doesn't have to always be designer. And I think a lot of people think that, oh my gosh, in order for me to have nice things, they have to be designer. Well, a lot of those, that first piece you saw was from Target. It's a Target. You can shop and you can experience things on all levels. You just have to, again, what you said, know what you're looking for and know what you want to feel and what you want to experience, and then you make it happen. It's like dressing or designing a house. You always, or whatever the case may be, you don't ever really buy the top notch. You know what the top notch is, you identify what the bottom tier is, and you try to find you work your way in between somewhere, whether you're at the top or bottom, you work your way somewhere and make it work for you. A white t-shirt is a white t-shirt.
Is a white t-shirt. You do you, and at the end of the day, the bottom line is, do you, be happy, and have a place of confidence, whatever it is that you choose to wear and however you just choose to design your capsule wardrobe. So again, we are excited about the other opportunities that we're going to be having to discuss those capsule wardrobes and defining style and everything else in between. So until next time, stay tuned for more, but bye-bye.